So the Capital One Venture X card might just be one of the most underrated elite travel credit cards where on paper, they have an annual fee of $395. But what if I told you that this is one of the few credit cards where instead of paying the banks a couple $100, that you would be getting money from them almost instantly? Well, folks, that's right, because the Capital One Venture X has a $300 travel credit, and unlike other credit cards where you gotta jump through loops and hoops, this is actually one of the easiest credits to use. So just already, we go from a $395 annual fee down to $95. On top of that, this card will also give you 10,000 miles every card anniversary, or if we do 1 point to 1 cent redemption, that is $100 back, which means that Capital One would actually be paying you $5 in signing up for this card after holding it for about 1 year. So ladies and gents, I mean, we really haven't talked too much about Capital One before, but after going through my own in-depth analysis on some of the benefits that this provides, this is something that you really want to consider. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what the benefits of this card is. We'll also be going over who this card is best meant for. I'll share with you guys also some downsides, any disadvantages, and I'll also be telling you exactly what credit score you may want to have in order to get approved. So to kick this video off, Capital One does things a little bit different compared to some of the other top competitors within the space. So instead of using the term points, they actually use miles, but just keep in mind, miles and points, they're interchangeable. They're about 1 point to 1 cent in their ratio. So the Capital One Venture X is going to be coming from a lineup of 4 different cards. And out of those 4, this is going to be the best one with the highest annual fee, but also some of the highest benefits you can get. On that list is going to be the Venture One Rewards that is meant for people who are just getting started out within the credit card space. You also have the Venture One Rewards that comes with no annual fee. You get the Venture Rewards that has a 75,000 bonus mile welcome bonus incentive with a $95 annual fee. And you'll also have what we're talking about in this video, the Capital One Venture X, which is what I would consider really the elite out of the bunch. It's like if you have a group of siblings, this is the one that is just like the Olympian, the athlete, the one that always seems to be doing very well in whatever they pursue. With the Capital One Venture X card, you'll also find that you can earn double miles on every purchase and even more on every trip with 10x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. You'll get 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and you'll get 2x miles on all other purchases every day. The welcome bonus for this card is going to be 75,000 miles after you spend $4,000 on purchases within the first 3 months after opening your account. 75,000 miles is equivalent to 1 point to 1 cent at $750. There are definitely instances, even with Capital One though, where you can find a much higher redemption. I mentioned this earlier, you get a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus, which is equivalent to about $100 every single year. You'll be getting a $300 annual travel credit, which is very easy to use. All you have to do is book through the Capital One travel portal, where they also, a lot of people don't know this, they will price match with any other website or any other portal that you might find a better price on. So if you ever happen to travel and you want to even just get a hotel night for maybe 1 or 2 nights and it adds up to $300 or more, that'd be free. You'd be getting that money back right then and there. Not only that, but you also get a $100 global entry or TSA pre-check credit. And towards the latter half of this video, I'll share with you exactly when and how this credit would be most useful to you. Either way, if we do the math real quick, $750 plus $100 plus the $300 travel credit and the optional $100 travel credit, that would be the equivalent to over $1,250. Not only that, but this card actually has a plethora of other useful benefits, starting with the Capital One lounges, which, by the way, guys, American Express recently had to make a rule on their Centurion lounge because it was getting overcrowded, too many people, service was going a little bit down, but I've just heard only great things about the Capital One lounges, how they're much more extensive and they're much nicer and they stack well with other lounge access cards. I remember even in my most recent travel that I had with my girlfriend, these lounges, they were just way too overbooked. The Centurion lounge was almost unusable, and it got me thinking, if there were any other alternatives, I would have taken it. Now, another benefit that most people don't know about this card is that you'll actually be able to have at least 4 authorized users. And the huge benefit of being able to do this is the fact that if you have family members, if you have parents, like my first generation Korean immigrant parents, they're not really into the credit card game, but I want them to have the benefits, I could add them as an authorized user to this credit card here, and they will get the same benefits that I would in the lounge access and priority passes. Not only that, but this credit card here also gives you Hertz President's Circle status. Let me tell you why this benefit here is huge. If you guys have ever gone to an airport? As an example, recently I checked out Miami and that airport was crowded. Everyone's trying to get a rental car, but you'll notice that there were actually two lines. There was a regular line and there was a Hertz President's Circle line. The regular line was like an hour-long wait. The President's Circle line, no one was in there. You could have not only saved an hour of your time, but you could have also had the opportunity to get an even better upgraded car. It's things like this where I find so much gratitude in just having credit cards, because when you actually use the benefits and realize it saves you time and money and you get upgrades, is nice. I'll just say it's very nice. So this credit card is going to give you Hertz President's Circle status, and one of the most elite credit card moves, if you guys ever get into this space, is that you can status match. So by having Hertz President's Circle, you can tell another company, hey, I got President's Circle over here. Can you get me to your elite Emerald status over there? And they would gladly do that. For the year of 2023, you would normally have to spend either $4,000 with Hertz, or you would have to complete 20 different rentals in order to actually get this status. So the fact that you can get it free with a card that pays you $5 a year effectively, it's kind of wild. Not only that, within the topic of travel, if you guys have ever used Turo, I've used it many times before. I've used it to actually rent a Lamborghini before. I remember this time last year in California where I really wanted to drive a Lamborghini for the first time ever in my life. I used it on Turo. Boy, was it expensive. Would I ever do it again? If the bull market comes back, probably yes, but during these times, no. With this credit card, up until May 16th, 2023, you'll actually be able to get 10x back if you decide to rent it using Turo. Now, ladies and gents, before we carry on with some of the other additional benefits, because yeah, we are not done there. If you are interested at all in applying for this credit card, feel free to check out the link down below in the description or scan the QR code on your screen. Now, like always, by doing this, it really does support the channel. It allows me to come out with more informative videos like this. It allows me to raise the quality and the standard of these videos, and it costs nothing at all to you. Always make sure that your offer is the most competitive, but if you guys do use those links, thank you all so much in advance. The next benefit that we need to talk about with this card is actually the Capital One travel portal. I talked about this a little bit earlier on in the beginning of the video, but a lot of people neglect how great the Capital One travel portal is, just because many people end up not using these cards and they don't know that it is easy to use and they have some better perks than some of the other competitors do. I do need to mention one downside. The Capital One travel portal doesn't have as many hotels as some of the other competitors do, but with that price match option that they offer, where pretty much if you see a hotel for $200 on their website, but then on the portal it's like $400, but you want to be able to take advantage of that credit, price match it instantly. They do it so very well. It's easy to use, and on top of that, you'll have access to gaining even more points by using this card. Keep in mind, you're getting 10x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through their portal. So literally, I think it's hard for me to even think of any credit card that's going to offer you 10% back on booking these type of things. So if a hotel happens to be on their portal, this is a no-brainer at all. I recently took a day trip to the Georgetown area of Washington, DC, and I saw a huge coffee shop, and I looked on the sign and it said Capital One Cafe. Just in case you didn't know, they're doing a crazy good job right now expanding their territory, increasing the offerings that they have. So lounges are getting nicer, they're having like different cafes, and on top of that, they offer something called the Venture X Premier Collection, which if you guys ever heard of the Amex Hotel Collection, is very similar in some of the benefits that you would get. So as an example, if you ever book through the Capital One travel portal, you'd be getting those 10x miles, but you'll also be getting $100 experience credit to use during your stay. You'd be getting free daily breakfast for two. You get complimentary Wi-Fi. You also get a room upgrade when available, and you get early check-in and late checkout. Whenever I travel, you will rarely ever see me book through a regular travel portal or book direct on that hotel's website, unless I own like the World of Hyatt card, which I do, and I'd book directly on them and there's some type of incentive or promotional benefit. But 99% of the time, little travel hack here, always book through one of these portals. Early check-in at 10 to 9 a.m. It is so amazing. Late checkout at 3 to 4 p.m. It really does begin to make me just enjoy traveling a lot more. So that right there is a pretty quick rundown of some of the benefits of this card. At this point, I want to go over though who this card is best meant for, because it seems like Capital One is a little bit harder to plug into most people's wallet setup. As most of you guys know, we have the whole Chase trifecta, we have the mid game, the late game, and I will say for this credit card, it would actually be best for mid game card holders. And if you are late to end game like I am, you know, after you get to a point where you have 15 credit cards, I would consider that end game. And this is a credit card that I'm still considering here heavily, and that's because this is what I would call a $0 credit card. $0 credit card just means that it is free for me to hold. So because of these credits and because of how much they offer in cashback rewards and that high welcome bonus at the time of filming this video, it makes it a no-brainer. Other times people will choose to opt in for like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or even on the American Express Express side. The mid-game card would be the American Express Gold card. But if you happen to travel even more, I feel like this card just beats out most credit cards within the ranks. If I were to do it again and they had this card with the same benefits with what they had now, I would have applied for the Capital One Venture X card first before moving forward with some of the other higher tier cards. Another reason why this is great for late game or end game users is because when you get to some of the higher tier luxury premier travel credit cards, the Chase Sapphire Reserve has an annual fee of $550. The American Express Platinum card has an annual fee of $695. This card here is next on the list, $395, and I would consider this a very strong competitor to those cards. So if I'm not traveling so much, and I don't know how much I'm going to travel this year, I think with the bear market, your boy is going to be laid down in his home. I'm paying a lot of annual fees with some of my primary travel cards. If I can't get full benefits from that, what I'm probably going to do is downgrade my Platinum card or my Business Platinum card, because there's no need to be paying over $1,000 every single year to hold both of them. And I would consider just getting this card. It really fills in that gap where if I end up not having the Chase Sapphire Reserve and I don't have the Amex Platinum for a single year, this would be almost like the substitute, but it would be a very good plug for it. Now, at this point, you might think this card is pretty amazing, and I would agree with you there, but there are a few downsides too. One of them is the fact that you still would need a higher credit score, and another thing is that Capital One is also very inquiry sensitive, meaning if you have applied for a lot of credit cards before in the past, they may deny you for that. Overall though, if you can look past just a few of those things and realize that this card here is a very strong contender, it is an underdog, it is very underrated within this space. If you do the math for yourself and realize the data points of people who hold this card that still have been holding it and realize this is just a keeper, I think this would fit in most people's wallet. So ladies and gents, if you did enjoy this video, let me know down below in the comment section. If you guys have any other questions about this card, please let me know too. One last thing, if you guys do want to join my credit card group, this is where other people just like you have joined. It's a Facebook community I created a while ago. We got 30,000 plus members in there. Be sure to check out the link down below in the description. You'll have access to my newsletter as well for the best credit card offers and deals, including any type of other travel plans or some type of crazy stuff that I'm seeing within the market. And if you guys are also interested as well in applying for this credit card, be sure to check out that link down below in the description or scan wherever it's going to be the QR code on your screen if you're watching this on your laptop or your TV. Now, ladies and gents, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to this channel as well. I'd love to hit you guys with some more banger credit card videos. And like always, if you guys haven't followed me on Twitter and on Instagram, if you want to do that as well, shoot me a follow there too. In the meantime, thank you all so much again for watching. And until next time, peace out.